What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bronx Bombers Strike Back podcast here on the Sports Jedi Network with your host, the Don of the Watch Along, BX Sports Jedi Kev. Yes, we are here in the quarter of the season in the New York Yankee Baseball 2024 campaign. Although we have not done a lot of watch along since the first 10 games of the opening season for the Astro series and then forth because the postseason of all the winter sports on our channel they're just going in deep runs with the Knicks and the Rangers. Yes, we haven't done any of the watch alongs for the New York Yankees. Doesn't mean that we don't keep an eye on and we could give you the temperature, or at least in my opinion, for here in Memorial Day. I always tell you, wait until Memorial Day. Do not overreact the first 20, 30, the first few games or the first month of the season where some folks are looking to jump off the ledge if the Yankees lose 2 games in a row. I tell you guys, wait and see. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and we could take a look here in increments of a quarter of a season. Right now, the Yankees, as we stand here, Memorial Day, and again, what a travesty for Major League Baseball not to put the New York Yankees, and I believe the Mets are off too. No game for this on this holiday where when you associate Memorial Day, the unofficial start of the summer, you think of the boys of summer in baseball. And not to put the New York Yankees on today on Memorial Day, regardless of the fact they're on the West Coast or not, or in Citi Field, it's a travesty. It's a stupidity. I mean, again, I am not a big fan of Ron Manfred with his stupid ideas, what he's doing to the game of baseball. Look, there's nothing wrong with a little tradition. Tradition goes a long way. Where, in 12 o'clock, the new day starts. 12 midnight, a new day starts. There's nothing wrong with that tradition. It's like taking the time and making, 7 a.m. is now the new day, the new start of the physical calendar day. No, there's nothing wrong with a little tradition. Keep most of the game intact. I understand you have to evolve and change with the times when it comes to baseball, but not playing on Memorial Day. I understand Mondays and Thursdays are your travel off days, yada yada yada, all that other good stuff. But these type of days are sacred. I think wouldn't it be nice to have an afternoon game? Although radio is dying, but of course that's not another tradition that's going down the waste. But you're what they always say in the backyard, grilling some hot dogs, ribs, steaks, whatever the case is, doing some yard work, hanging out by the poolside, have the radio on, listening to the games, or if you have now, everyone has a TV in their patio or their porch or on the lanai. Put the game on there while the kids are in the pool, while you're hanging out outside having a cold one, or just enjoying the summer. Listen, everyone is cooped up for over 6.5 months in the Northeast. You want to have some outdoor stuff, even people want to go on that day to go to the game. Let's say 75% of the working class is off today. But again, salute to all the men and women. Thank you for your services. We memorize you guys, not just out of day, but thank you for all the freedoms you gave us so I could speak on a platform here on a YouTube or in anywhere you listen to us, or we could rant or complain or even enjoy the day off. Thank you for all those men and women that gave their lives for the freedoms that we enjoy and we sometimes take for granted. So I wanted to put that first and foremost before we go. Yes, before we go on in this video, again, I wish the Yankees would have played today. Would have been a good day to see a game, anywhere all across the country, all around the world. There's a few teams that are playing, but this is where everyone should be really taking advantage and playing, in my opinion. But I digress. The Yankees are 37-18. First place. Look at that. First place in the American League East. And they did this with you could say a major scare in the beginning of the season with Garrett Cole on the IL. Garrett Cole slowly but surely avoided getting the Tommy John surgery that we thank goodness doesn't need. He's on a throwing program. Rehab starts coming soon. You could say before July, or the Yankees continue to excel and win, I could see him. They're pushing him back more, maybe after the All-Star break. It wouldn't hurt if they're winning. Get him fresh, get him strong, get his arm strong, ready to go for that grind after in July all the way to the dog days of August into the pennant stretch and into the postseason if the Yankees make it that far. Or all signals show that the Yankees are doing well. Everyone that panicked in the beginning of April about Aaron Judge got even booed in Yankee Stadium. Some folks outside of the naysayers that are not Yankee fans saying why is Aaron Judge getting booed at Yankee Stadium? That's the nature of New York. That's how the fan base are. Now my thing is we need to relax. And again, I want to say this from me personally. I hope you guys appreciate that I'm not every 2 hours or every day putting on a clickbait video like other programs are, and I'm not. Listen, I'm gonna be a heel about this. All these clickbaiters up and down, up and down. Who did this? Should we trade for this? Should we get that? All the folks that wasted your winter. Should we sign Blake Snell? Complaining and making on and on streams about Blake Snell and this guy, that one. Always looking for someone, looking for the fruit across the river instead of nurturing and bringing to life and bearing their own fruit in their own farm system. You saw this here. One of my last videos in Yankees that I did on the Bronx Bomber Strike Back. It is here. The video's there. It doesn't lie. It's on there. You can look for it on my video library. Luis Gil. I've told everyone about Luis Gil. He is coming back. This is his second year after the surgery. He pitched a little well yet last year, but he was getting his strength back. He showed promising stuff before the surgery. Relax. We don't need Blake Snell. Everyone's complaining about Aaron Boone only being a 5.5 inning. He goes with his starters, 5.5. Blake Snell only pitches 5 innings, 6 innings. It wasn't going to be a perfect fit for the Yankees. I said, relax. We got some arms in the... Oh, they're going to lose. And I even had some folks that part of this channel. Oh, they're only going to win 82 games. I don't see them making the postseason after a 2-game losing streak. There's the classic overreaction. Listen, this is why we're a fan from a fan. We tend to be fanatics of the Yankees. But, again, this is why I don't like to do so many over and over redundant videos of the what-ifs. Because... you don't know. Just relax. I want to try to be one when I speak. It has substance. When I talk to you about Luis Gil, it has substance. Look where Luis Gil has come here at the first quarter of the season. Now, is there an innings limit? Maybe down the road. The Yankees are saying something different, but this is still the Yankees. When I mean they're still the Yankees, and I don't want to jump all over the place here, but I think Luis Gil, they say they're not going to have kid gloves with him. They're going to pitch him. Something different. Is Cashman changing his tune from what he said before? I know I personally been on record saying I would have loved the Yankees in the offseason to get Corbin Burnes. I was one of those that said Corbin Burnes, but Milwaukee decided not to trade with New York. They decided they liked the Orioles package better. That's something we cannot do anything about. Especially if the Yankees weren't thinking about getting fleeced, and they weren't looking to move any of the pieces in the farm system, because as time gives us the reasoning, we have the owner, Hal Steinbrenner, again putting a foot in his mouth, in my opinion. Why are you coming out saying that you have to get the payroll down next season? Like you're giving us a forewarning, saying, well, this $325 million, I have to get it down next year, and you're telling us Verdugo is not returning. So what motive and motivation are you giving this 2024 season for these players to go out and win, where the Yankees don't give a crap about us? They're not going to re-sign us. And I understand everyone is an individual brand. That, of course, Verdugo is playing for a contract for next year, if regardless is with the Yankees or not. He's going to have the big stage. Gleyber Torres, another one who's eligible for free agency. Looks like right now it looks like he's not returning to the Yankees, although 90% of the fan base wouldn't mind seeing Gleyber go on to greener pastures. That's not the question here. The question I'm asking is, why is Hal opening his mouth, giving us no hope, especially when we have the biggest free agents, because there's more than one free agent on our team, and changing the dynamic of the baseball team. Let us be honest. When Juan Soto's changed the dynamic of the team. Guys are taking more pitches. There's a different approach. It's helping Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe's having a hell of a year. Right now I believe it was 20-game hitting streak going and counting, on base streak for him. He is just no pressure on him, because They're just moving the baton. And Aaron Judge, the month of May is on fire. I mean, reverting back to his MVP self, all because the guys have protection. Giancarlo Stanton staying relatively mostly healthy, producing when he's in there. Anthony Rizzo having his moments. Verdugo, his impact on of course getting a professional outfielder who could hit and played in the American League is showing. And it's not coincidence why they're 37-18. It's not a fluke. And the Yankees having the best ERA in the starting staff. That's again tribute to Jose Trevino behind the plate. This is Yankees problem hasn't been pitching, especially since Trevino has been the catcher for the Yankees. Look at the ERA the past few years and the starting pitching staff. Nestor Cortez, you could say overachieved as some people's eyes, but the Yankee pitching staff has been an excellent commodity. And their bullpen, we know that they build bullpens, and no matter which guys come in and out, the Cashman has done a really good job of bringing in players who fit the bill of the Yankee bullpen and so forth. That I'm not worried about. What I'm worried about the stupid comments of Hal Steinbrenner trying again. Listen, let the season play out. If that's something that you feel that we need to cut down on payroll, if you feel that way, that's something that should have kept internally and kept to himself, not say that, because the way things get magnified in New York with the media, even the national media picking up on it, what does that show to agents? What does that tell to Scott Boras? What does that tell to, and although Scott Boras, he has no leg to stand on, because his free agents, all of them that signed late, everybody that was crying and crowning, we need to get Jody Montgomery. He's not doing nothing in the league right now. He's not even being an impact. It's still early, still quarter of the season. They started late, yada, yada. We understand that. Blake Snell. We don't hear the Blake Snell. Matt Chapman. I don't hear anything. You don't hear any of the chorus clients making an impact in this season and so forth. Not everything that's shiny, Yankee fans, is gold. Not everything that shines from other teams is gold, man. You got to know, do your due diligence, please. Don't be parrots. Look with your eyes. Follow the product. React to your thoughts. What's your opinion, even if it's against the grain, and if people disagree with you, but it's your take. Don't be parrots. Just because this content creator says that you're going to be a parrot and do the same thing, be your own person, even if you have to be on an island. But you know what? Be on your own islands of relevancy. It's okay to be in your own island, but be an island of relevancy. You be relevant with your takes when it gives you fruit. That's all I got to say. Everyone wants to run to the Japanese player. He'll come from the third baseman or some young bum. No. If you haven't watched the International League, if you haven't watched the Japanese League, the Korean League, and you haven't scouted yourself and seen this player, all because you see a couple YouTube highlights, and then you want to jump on like parrots. Oh, we need to get this guy. We need to get that guy. You're looking foolish. Make your own observation, your own analysis, your own thoughts. Just because 161 says it, you're going to run like a parrot. Just because Joe Blow says it, you're going to run. No, be your own person, man. Be your own Yankee content creator with your own eyes, what you see. If you're only 17 years old, 14 years old, use that little limited knowledge to watch the games and make your own assessment. Maybe you got probably more talent than some of these 50-plus-year-old, 40-year-old persons that watching the game all the time. That's what I say. That's just my thought, my take here from a Yankee fan. I got my own take. I like certain players. I like certain players. You not agree or disagree, that's fine. I don't care if you agree or disagree with my takes. I've told you Luis Gil is going to be a good pitcher for the Yankees. Now, do I have all the right answers? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I still stand with Sean Manaea. Should have been a Yankee. He's pitching well he's pitching well with the Mets. Although the Mets can't hit, that's another disaster. But he's pitching well. Carlos Rodon, he turned it around. I got to give credit to the pitching, Mac Blake and Mark Manaki, the pitching staff in the New York Yankees with the catching behind and the battery mates are doing a well job there. I still don't trust Rodon, but I hope he continues to turn it around. I'm not a big fan of Rodon, but he's doing well. He's made me look a little wrong, at least for this season. But I guarantee you 75% of the Yankee fans don't trust him. Waiting for the other shoe to drop when it comes to Carlos Rodon. I trust more Nestor Cortez than Rodon because I seen Nestor Cortez in my system excel, and I seen his ups and downs, his failure. I only seen Rodon his failure. I haven't seen him excel yet in my system. That's where I go by my eyes, what I seen. That's my example I was telling you guys a few seconds ago. That's what I meant. But I hope the Yankees start. The pitching staff stays stacked together. They're only going to get a boost with Garrett Cole. It makes me to my next observation. DJ LeMahieu, is he going to return? What are we getting from him? Is it a lot of pressure on DJ? At this point, whatever LeMahieu gives the Yankees is gravy. The Yankees got a lot of issues or a lot of players that manned a lot of the same position, but not giving the right results. What I mean at the third base and the second base, the infield, where LeMahieu, Birdie, Torres, Peraza, it's like we have a lot of the same type of players. You just got to know, like Boone has to manage to find out when they get a hot player and when to play them. One thing I've noticed from Boone, he's managing a little bit slight difference. Not a lot of punt lineups, although you could say a lot of punt relieving when, and again, there's some questions to be asked. But when you have the best record in the American League and the first place in the American League East, what is there much to complain about? Because you lost one, maybe two games that you could have won. Yes, you want to win everything. You want to win as many games as possible, get that home field advantage, get that equity in case things go a little bit. If the Yankees hit a snide, a wall, or things a tough schedule, you have equity there to just in case to navigate the ship back on course, back on the rising or lowing of the tide. I get that stuff when it comes to the Yankees. I get it. But again, the quarter of the season, I'm very pleasantly surprised with everyone. I'm like the fact that the way Volpe's hitting, and I know they moved him from the lineup. Judge, Soto doing well. Only thing I'm a little concerned is Rizzo's first base defense. But again, that comes with age. I thought that glove wasn't going to be that diminishing as much as I seen little Rizzo with certain plays. But again, when you're first and you're not, and those are minor things that they could either tweak it when the trading deadline, waiver wire, whatever the case is, to bring if they want to bring a backup first baseman. But that's just luxury. That's just being cosmetic and luxury. The Yankees, I know some of the Yankee fans still maybe 50% are not sold on Clay Holmes as your closer, although he's been having a great season except for that minor hiccup, about a week ago. I get it. Again, I ask you, what's out there? What are you giving up? If House telling you that he's looking to cut payroll, that means no Verdugo. Maybe I'm right now I'm at 30%. Yankee fans, I know you don't want to hear it, but I have to be. I told you I'm on my own islands of relevancy. I'm on my own island. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel 30% of Juan Soto returning to the Yankees, and I wanted Soto for the longest. Everyone that knows me, I've been like, Soto has to be a Yankee. Go get Soto right now. As we speak right now, Memorial Day. I think Soto's only at 30% returning to the Yankees. The other 70% is open to the field. That's how I feel with that stupid comment that my owner has to make. But it's okay though, because he will sell the Yankees TV rights all to Apple, Fox, or Apple, Netflix's next probably for a couple of games. The Yes Network, ABC with the Peacock. On this platform and that one, but he'll also take some money because he's going through some rough financial times. He's gonna put a stupid star insurance patch on the shoulders. What's next when they pay him extra? When FanDuel wants to put a couple of dollars for the Yankees to put a City Connect jersey, yeah, all the money buck. Again, you have to make money product, but there's still nothing wrong with a little tradition. Nothing seems nicer when you go to a home. I understand if they want to do a road City Connect, maybe, and I'm pushing that. But damn, nothing's wrong with some pinstripes at home and leave it. Keep it tradition. I don't even like the patch on the side. Call me a relic. Call me, but again, that's why I'm on my own islands of relevancy. I'll say that and I'll say that over and over again. And I don't trust this owner, and it makes me believe. And I'm gonna go on a statement. I'm gonna make a bold statement here. I think this is Brian Cashman's final year as a Yankee general manager. Not because he's gonna get fired. I think he's gonna resign. I think Brian had it already. Because by him, and one of there's a few warning signs that's telling me that Brian, you know what? He's done. I think Brian, as a general manager in the organization, taking the slings and arrows from the media, from the fan base, the unappreciativeness that he gets for, and of course, when you take one of these general manager job, you're hired to get fired. We know that, and even the manager, and he knows that. For him to last this long, 36 years in the was it 36 years? No, 34 years in the organization as an intern, now general manager, assistant general manager, all that in the organization with the Yankees. I wouldn't be surprised if Cashman says it's time. I'm going to hang it up. I think he's done at the end of the year. Personally, regardless of the Yankees win the World Series, don't win the World Series, I think we're looking into a new general manager next year. Just by that, also, and I think one thing doesn't have to do with the other. But when you see a John Sterling leaving the organization, he got tired. He got tired. He decided to leave. You know what? One of my heroes, the way I wish I could imitate him 100%, the way he calls the game on a watch along. I love John Sterling. I'm gonna be honest with you. To see him go, I'm so sad. But I understand he's on an elder statement, wants to relax, all that stuff. It gets tiring. I get it. I can see Cashman saying, you know what, John retired. You know what, maybe that creeps in his mind. He didn't get to be around his daughters growing up. You see when his daughter's working on the S Network. They're already mature. Maybe he'll be into grandfatherhood and all that stuff. I think he's done. I personally think, and also when they're not doing this so damn analytically driven. When I'm seeing Luis Gil have no restrictions, changing from what Brian Cashman's motto about this and this and that, and seeing him allowing the pitchers with Boone to go a little longer in the game. They're managing, doing things a little bit different. It's like, I'm not saying they don't care. It's like, you know what? We tried it this way. I'm not going to be here long. Let's try something different on my way out. Maybe something works. I think Cashman is done. That's just me. I'm making that a prediction. Hey, I've been wrong before. And I'm not saying, I told you so, I'm right. I think Cashman is done. And for me here, what's the remaining stuff to watch of this Yankee season? It's a fun year. Just because this is not a doom and gloom podcast right now or being down on the Yankees. No. I am excited for what the Yankees are doing with the pitching staff. Pitching and defense wins game. Their pitching has been phenomenal. You could say a B+ to A- in their pitching. I know some of us would like a little longevity and length in their pitching staff. That's another question, another argument, another day. Maybe when things get later in the season, maybe they might go another extra innings or maybe an extra 25 to 40 pitches. I'm just pushing that. Just using it as an argument safe. We'll want to see what the whole looks like as a group. Will they find a third baseman at the trading deadline? Will the DJ LeMahieu solidify that? The Yankees got a lot of question marks coming back off the IL. And if they work, they're going to take this team to another level of excellence. And LeMahieu, Garrett Cole, you're getting the remaining Cy Young Award winner of the American League back in your rotation. Oh, it's like making a trade. Yeah, it's like making a trade for an all-star pitcher into your rotation. The Yankees are dipping in something good. Barring catastrophe injuries. Look, Acuna went down on a non-contact play trying to take a lead on the pitcher, the ball throwing back to the pitcher. He tore his ACL. Speedy recovery, Acuna. Speedy recovery, mejorate, mi hermano. That's a shame. Injuries can happen like this. We look at who thought that a damn cement header at Dodger Stadium was going to kill the Yankee season last year on Judge. Those things, I don't wish injury on anyone, and we got to be careful. But right now, as we speak, I like the way the Yankees are playing. They got more hitting. There's more offensive power than the Baltimore Orioles as we speak currently right now. Although the Orioles got talent in that lineup or in their farm system they could trade away to add pieces on. If I'm the Yankees, I don't think the Yankees are going to move. Everyone says, let's get Spencer Jones for the hottest thing that's hitting currently right now in 2024. Hold off on Spencer Jones. Hold off on Dominguez. I wouldn't want to trade these guys yet. But there is no room, Jedi. Everyone says that. The room comes after. You know when there's no more room? When we know what happens with Juan Soto. Once the domino falls on Juan Soto, then we know where Spencer Jones, Dominguez, and the rest, Rice, the rest of the names in the minor league system for the Yankees fit future-wise. Because Soto is 26, 25 years old. He's going to be, if they sign him, it's going to be for over 10 years. He's not going anywhere. He's going to man left or right field for that remainder of the contract. You Scott Judge is not going anywhere. You need a center fielder. Yankees center fielder of the future, I hate to say it, is Spencer Jones, not Dominguez. Dominguez might be the odd man out unless if they want to move Judge around. And that's a question for the offseason. That's an offseason question. That's the type of question that should be podcast and clickbaiting stuff should be done in the offseason. Now there's substance in the regular season. Now let's talk about the team that's currently happening right now. Not about the bird that's flying by you that's pregnant, instead of the one that you have laying eggs in your in your treehouse. You know what I mean? There's a lot of those guys. They want the pregnant bird, and that doesn't exist. Talk about what we have built in within our system. Do we have some pitchers? Do we have some pitching staff? Do we have do the Yankees, are they grooming a closer of the future in their minor league system? Those are the questions we want to know for the future, because currently right now, the present, this team is in first place playing well. What do we have within our system, our minor league system, developmental? What does Kevin Reese, director of farm system, have installed for the Yankee organization to bring up? Those are the questions I want to know. Damon Oppenheimer, who are you scouting for the needs of the future of the Yankee organization? Upcoming draft coming up in a couple of weeks. What are the needs that the Yankees need in the next few years? We are free agency and all. I'm looking for the Yankees to draft the first baseman this year's MLB draft. We haven't had a first baseman develop in quite some time. It's time to find that next first baseman for the future. We have a lot of plethora of outfielders. We drafted a lot of. We even have an ambidextrous pitcher in a couple. Was it last year's draft? We need to find some. And we need to find a first baseman, and we need to find a third baseman in the minor league system in the draft. I'm looking forward to that. Those are the questions I want to ask here. I want to know, what are we doing here? Damon Oppenheimer, let's go. I want to see that. Your scouting department. Who do you have on your charts out there, either international or in your American and the collegiate amateur that you're looking your eye on? I want to see that going forward. But with that said, we will be returning to watch-alongs once the New York Rangers season comes to a conclusion. Maybe that will be in late June. Right now, they have a 2-1 lead on the Panthers in the Eastern Conference semifinals of Lord Stanley Cup. Actually, the Eastern Conference Finals, semifinals of the Stanley Cup. And if that once that continues, once that season comes to a conclusion, then we'll go right to calling balls and strikes and the New York Yankees watch along. We ask you to join us. We ask you to be part of the Sports Jedi Network. We do all the different watch alongs. We don't do too much of the Yankee podcast because I don't want to overreact at times. But when there's a trade, when there's a temperature to be taken, Memorial Day, we'll probably be right before the All-Star break. Or we'll be doing some watch along, but our next one will probably be before the All-Star break or right before we go live on the watch along to say we're doing a watch along. We'll return and do the podcast. Of course, Chris the Flash, salute to him, partner there. Michael Caputo, who always on the ledge, looking to come out, jump off of it if the Yankees lose one game, and so forth. And everyone from the rest of the Sports Jedi Network, salute to you guys. We'll be back on. May the sports be with you. Remember, be your own islands of relevancy. Don't be a pirate.